So, first anime we're talking about, honestly, Alya sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. This, we're at episode, I think was it 9 or 10? I think this is the last anime that I watched. Can we stop it? Was it episode 9 or 10? Or was it episode... Yeah, I think it was episode... okay. It was episode 9 or 10. So, let me look over in my notes real quick so I know exactly what I'm talking about. What the fuck? Wait, she's got into it. Oh. Okay, I see. Okay, I got lost for a second. I got lost on my own. I got lost on my own. What the fuck? Oh, shit. That's fair. So, episode 9 and 10 of Alya sometimes hides her feeling in Russian. Episode 9 was very huge because obviously I forgot my fucking... I literally watched everything today. I don't know why I'm forgetting everything. But episode 9, it starts off in a big way. Episode 9 starts off in a very, very, very huge way. Because episode 9, it starts off with Yuki, the grandfather, you already saw it, right? The grandfather, and the mother at dinner. Now, why is that like kind of surprising in a sense? Because this is the first time. Episode 9 gave me a little bit of a jump scare because that is the first time ever, and I genuinely mean ever, that we ever got to see the mother in like full on in person. Which genuinely scared the fuck out of me because I sat there, I was just like, oh, that's the mom. I for a second I didn't know who it was at first because I sat there and I was just like, oh, I don't. It took me a second, and I realized, oh, that's the mom. That's the mom. I first realized I thought it was a man. Like I thought it was gonna be. I thought the beginning looked like a flashback scene, and so I thought it was like Yuki being praised while Masakachi was being like scolded by his grandfather. Then I look. I'm like, I realized why I thought that was Masakachi or Masachika, whatever the hell how you say his name. It's because that's the mother. They look very alike. I was like, no, we're in present day. Holy shit. What did I do? Oh, yeah, no, I did. Okay. And so I sat there. I was like, wait a minute. That's Masakachi. Oh. And that, honest to God, that is probably the biggest thing. Because, man, that is surprising. Oh, Rage. Oh, shit. I did not see you there, my guy. I don't know why my Twitch chat, I do not realize why my Streamlabs chat isn't working. But, shit, man, it is good to see you. As a matter of fact, hold on. Where is it? I'll pop out. Yeah. I'm just gonna pop out chat because that honestly seems like the most useful thing that I could do rather than deal with that. But yeah, what's good, boy? What's good, my man? I hope you're doing well. But yeah, that first episode genuinely just gave me a jump scare because I sat there, I was just like, oh yeah, no, this is Masakachi. Oh no, this is Masakachi's mother. And when she's talking to Yuki about like Masakachi and Yuki's bond, you see that there's still like what do you explain it? There's still like, there feels like regret in his mother's voice, right? There definitely feels like there's a lot of sadness when she talks about her son, a lot of sympathy, a lot of just like, oh, how's Yuki doing? Oh, no, sorry, not Yuki. It's like, how's Masakachi doing? Are you guys still close? Like, yada, yada, yada. And obviously she doesn't want to pry too much, mainly because I assume, with how strained the relationship is, she's not trying to be too intrusive with everything. But it's still one of those things that baffles me. It still surprised me because I sat there. I was just like, "Oh, it doesn't play into anything this episode, but it does play into stuff next episode." Oh Jesus Christ! I'm on scatterbrain real quick. Give me a second. Oh right, okay, yeah. So we get that opening, then we get the opening song, and this episode. Right, episode 9 of Alya sometimes hides her feelings in Russian is basically all kind of centered around the aftermath of the student congress, where everyone's kind of talking shit about Tamiyaka, where she's getting some flack. Everyone's coming up to Masakachi and talking to him about like, oh man, you did so well, like blah blah blah. and like him trying to push a little bit of that info or a little bit of that praise to Alya, but obviously it's like not really working. He kind of has to do it. He definitely overshadowed her, and I think a big reason why anyone's gonna even want to vote for her is because of Masakachi, which I think to an extent they'll have to accept. But it's one of those like, you know what, if you just want to succeed, you kind of have to bite the bullet for it. But Alya, while she's talking to all the guys that Masakachi was pushing on him, they bring up Tomiyama and goes off, and as they go off, they were just like, oh yeah, you know, like Tomiyama, like I'm surprised she left, like she was so embarrassed that she lost, all that stuff. And Alya doesn't like the fact that Tomiyama's getting bashed, and Tomiyama and Masakachi are having a conversation of just like, we should probably find a way to have people not talk super badly about Tomiyama, and maybe find a way to like pull back on the like, you know, on the insults. Here's my thing. Tomiyama, and it's gonna sound so fucked, it's gonna sound so mean, but I'm gonna kind of stand on business with this one. Tomiyama wanted to try to ruin Alya and Masakachi's campaign because it wasn't Masakachi and Yuki. And so because she couldn't do that, and like a big reason of that was just like kind of what I said, I think it was like the last episode we were doing this, where Tomiyama was like, oh yeah, you like seeing them split, it kind of just like gave me a bit of hope that I could actually go back and do what I want to do again. And then like she said about it, so that's why I'm like, girl, I have no sympathy for this girl, because she's literally just being kind of a crybaby that she lost. And like maybe there's something deeper to it. Maybe like obviously like in school, so everyone shit talking you is going to be bad. But to me, it was just one of those things where it's just like, man, it's hard to have any sort of sympathy. Like I'd like to have sympathy. It'd be good to have sympathy. It's hard, man. It's hard to want to have sympathy. I think is the biggest thing here. It's hard to want to have sympathy, because it's like, okay, yeah, I get it, like you lost, but also like, I don't know, just do better, I guess. I don't know. It sounds so shitty, but like that's kind of the way I'm viewing it. Where it's like, I don't know, man. You could do better, but I guess it's whatever, I guess. Oh yeah, also Alya and Masakachi have the conversation inside the student council room, only to find out that I wrote down their names. I know the president's name is Toya, and the girl who is like the tough girl, what is her name? Because I know I wrote it down in my episode 10. Chisaki. There we go. Chisaki and Toya are kind of like hiding under the desk of the student council room, and they're like trying not to be caught by Alya and Masakachi, which I guess I'll put it, since we're talking about this now, I'll like put it ahead of time. I like didn't realize how many pairings there were. Like I think I probably mentioned the whole pairing thing before at some point, but I didn't actually realize how many pairings we have in the show Alya, where you have Toya and Chisaki, who are like a romance couple. You have Alya and Masakachi, who are like the main people. I know Yuki and Ayano, they're technically a partnership, but not really. And then actually there's, I forget blonde girl's name, but there is Taniyama and her running mate, which we'll get to, well, I guess right now, because Alya wants to try to help the rumors for Taniyama kind of like die down. And she's like, I'll do what I can, but I don't know. And so Masakachi goes to talk to Tomiyama's, Jesus, these names. Masakachi goes to talk to Taniyama and has a conversation where they're just like, hey, listen, is she okay? How's she doing? And we kind of get like our first actual glimpse of how Taniyama's running mate is. And in a weird way, Taniyama and that blonde girl are very similar to Alya and Masakachi, and it actually gives me a perspective of Alya, sometimes hides her feelings in Russian, I'm not saying that, of the show Alya, that I didn't actually get a perspective for. Also, I just realized after 5 episodes, I had spelled Alya wrong. That's terrible. I just realized that. Son of a bitch. I'm gonna have to finish that post, but fuck it, we're already here. But the parallel is, not the parallels. Well, no, yeah, parallels that she brings out. But something I just didn't never notice is that the blonde girl, is questioned by Masakachi as to like, you obviously you hang around, like he calls her and her friends a bunch of normies and stuff like that. But she's like, Taniyama is not the type of person whatsoever that you like. Like you don't hang around that type of person. You don't ever interact with that type of person. So what is like the big deal? What is the thing that is driving you to this woman? And she actually gives an interesting response where she's like, well, it's kind of the same reason you're attached to Alya. We're both people who kind of don't really have a lot of ambition when it comes to it, but we attach ourselves to people who give us that similar ambition. We attach ourselves to the same type of people who would have those ambitions. And so that kind of gave me an interesting introspective of everything, where you sit there and you're just like, oh yeah, like a big reason probably why Masakachi is very interested in Alya and why he wants to help Alya so much is because Alya probably reminds him a lot of himself back when he was younger. So it's one of the things where it's just like, oh, I get it now. And it's just one of those like little things you don't actually, notice. Like you notice it kind of and you see it, but you never like really get it clicked together until it's like said out loud for you, which unfortunately was one of those things. But yeah, it was just one of those things where it was just like, oh, that's interesting. And then after that, it's just a bit more of a little bit of just general plainness between everybody. Alya catches. Oh yeah, so stupid. There was one more thing that's kind of important, but the thing I would forget. For some reason, everyone's just hiding in classrooms in this episode, because before, like I said, there's Alya and Masakachi who are having a conversation, but Toya and Chisaki are hiding under the table. But then, when the blonde girl and Masakachi were having a conversation about Taniyama, Yuki and Ayano just kind of pop out of nowhere. Like, Ayano was hiding under the desk, but Yuki also just appears out of nowhere, and it's just like, how the fuck? Like, wait, where did you come from? And B, if you weren't hiding that hard, Masakachi, blonde girl, how the hell did you not notice this motherfucker? It was kind of one of those, like, okay, I guess, like, we're, alright, we're just not going to notice people. That's fine, I guess. Her running mate also has plants in the audience that wouldn't even be here winning through skill. Motherfuckers also spelled Russian wrong. Wait, did I spell Russian wrong? I spelled Russian wrong! Fuck! Oh, I gotta keep the chat up. So I can interact. I spelled Russian wrong. Wow, I spelled so many things wrong. Oh my god, I am just realizing that. Fuck my life. That's like 5 episodes. That's 5 episodes I got completely fucking wrong. Holy shit. Oh, the editors for this podcast, I'm going to get crucified. I know for a fact I'm going to get crucified for this, because they're going to look over this and then they're going to realize it, because I do this for a network. I don't know how none of us caught that. Oh my god, I look like a dumb fuck. I genuinely look like a dumb fuck. Jesus fucking Christ. I guess we're bomb. But, okay, Rage actually brings something up I should have actually mentioned as well, is that, Jesus Christ. I mean, I guess we're not there, but there's a good thing with the plants that I need to bring up. But yeah, they have the whole freaking thing with the classroom and shit, and I'm just like, why is everyone hiding in the classroom? It's so stupid. Alya catches them, she gets jealous and stuff like that. But we see that, like, blonde girl also, like, sort of kind of has an infatuation for Taniyama. And so what she does, which I actually think is a fucking cool move, is that she basically kind of just takes a grenade for Taniyama. So instead of everyone thinking that Taniyama ran off stage because of everything that happened with, like, her being embarrassed and her, like, not thinking that she could do it and her not being good enough, the blonde girl basically takes the bullet being like, oh yeah, she ran away because she found out that I had plants in the audience. So because of that, like, that's why she ran away. Making her seem like a bit more sympathetic in a sense, which I kind of like, actually. That was, like, really fucking cool. I was like, oh, all right, you're not just kind of like a mean, conceited girl. Like, you actually have a heart, which was nice to see. I am not gonna lie, I don't remember how this episode ends. Oh, right, I forget because then that whole big scene of them trying to sort everything out happens. Then I think this is the episode where it just ends in a sort of a hypnosis type of fucking thing where it's Masakachi and basically with all the 4 girls that he would be technically interested in, where it's like Alya, Masha, Yuki, and Ayano. I'm not gonna lie, I'm surprised I even know a fraction of all of these names, but I mean, let's ball, I guess. But they find like a hypnosis book that Chisaki can like confiscated for somebody, and so he hypnotizes Masha. It works. Alya doesn't believe it. Alya gets hypnotized by them, so now Masha and Alya are both hypnotized. And then it just starts like the most typical like romance thing of Masha petting both of their heads, not wanting to. Alya for some reason starts to strip. Masha for some reason starts to strip. And then Chisaki has to come in, knocks out both of them to reset them. And then Chisaki's like, hey, you saw that, didn't you? You silly bitch. I'm going to need to reset you too, motherfucker. But that's how episode 9 ends. And then episode 10 also, like, this one where it had a lot of the spicy stuff towards episode 9 where a lot of the spicy stuff happened towards the end. And then it was more of just stuff, whatever, in the middle. This one has, like, the romance, typical stuff in the beginning, and where we get the big, juicy stuff towards the end. We need that fan service. We got horny motherfuckers. I know we need the fan service. And you know what? I am not a hater of fan service. I think when done right and when done appropriately, fan service can not only be okay in the story, but could benefit a story. I'm someone that completely understands the idea of fan service. And while I don't think this was the fan service that was, the best, it's still one of those things where it's just like, this show has actually given us quite a lot, and actually has given us quite a bit of tasty little things that I'm actually okay with a little bit of fan service here and there. Like I'm okay with a little bit of I'm okay with a little bit of fan service when it comes to like this show, in terms of like they've actually given us a lot of spicy stuff to hold on to and a lot of development for a lot of the characters. I'm okay with it. It's nonsensical fan service. It's the type that's like, this is a benefit of the story, but I'm okay with it a little bit. It's a real fan, like you said, we got horny motherfuckers out there, but this show has built up enough goodwill and quality that I'm like, you know what? All right, that's fine. But episodes 10 was kind of a little bit less or more than the same. I think it starts off with Alya calling Masakachi and just being like, oh yeah, I hope you're not slacking. He's trying to study. Luigi's motivation. Alya calls. They have like a chit chat on how studying's going and trying to motivate each other. Alya secretly got scared, so she wanted to call Masakachi. But it's just like a normal conversation. She finds out that his birthday actually wasn't too long ago. And so she feels a little slated when she's like, oh, you didn't invite me to your birthday party. And he's just like, I didn't even have a birthday party. I don't know what you're talking about, but I didn't even throw a party. But I guess because she was like, oh yeah, you should throw a party. I guess he throws a, he's planning on throwing a party. I'm pretty sure he doesn't do it this episode. But yeah, he doesn't throw a party. And I forget why. But I also know that all of the student council congregate, because I think it's one of the things where Masakachi and Alya come back, it's the next day, they're studying in a room, they're very close. Ayano and Yuki come in. Was it the next day? I actually generally can't fucking remember. But no. Wait, no. Before the big stuff happens, Jesus Christ, I don't know why I can't fucking remember. This episode was actually okay. Alya has been pretty okay. I don't know why I'm forgetting so hard. No, but a big thing was that I made note of this, which is why I only remember, is because we never see him spend much time with all 3 girls in one episode. So I know he has some alone time with Alya. There was some alone time with Yuki, but I don't remember what it was. I know he spends alone time with Masha. This is what happens when I watch so much fucking Masha. I keep saying Masha instead of Masha. but I know he spent some time with Masha because they go to either clean up something or do something, and he's like apologizing for the hypnosis thing, but acknowledging that she's like actually like, oh, it's like, oh no, you're like kind of cute when you're mad. You're kind of adorable when you're mad. I'm not gonna lie, but you know, is low key. It's low key kind of true. I ain't gonna cap. She is a little bit of cute patootie when she's bad. She's like that, like, oh, you get mad, but it ain't that really serious type of mad. And then there's Yuki, which now that I'm remembering, it does. Their alone time does. Well, I say alone time, but Ayano's there obviously. But I'm not gonna lie, you don't notice her half the time, which is kind of the point of the character. But I know he does something where like Yuki's laying on the table. I think I gotta say this about their alone time. Yuki is such a degenerate, and it's like it's one of those things where it's like I'm enjoying it. It's funny because usually it would be that I feel like the roles would be reversed in terms of personality. Because in a romance, I feel like Yuki would have been like the main character as the super weirdo, and then the sister would have had this like not okay, like what the fuck personality. But I do like the twist of it. I also do just like, I have to say this again because I appreciate what they do for the main character. Masakachi is genuinely like a smart character. Like there's a lot of romances where the character's just either like super like very, very dumb, or super like either super dumb, super cringe, or just super, what's the word I'm looking for? Super oblivious, I would say. Where it's one of those things, or super oblivious or super shy or super nervous. Where it's one of those things where it's just like, Jesus Christ, it's like, pull up your fucking pants and do something, or like stop fucking around and actually get serious for once. With Machi, it's like I don't think there's like a single thing that I think is like out of logic for him, which I appreciate. Other than, if we want to be technical, other than not telling Alya that he knows Russian, because now he's finding himself in a situation where he knows, and if Alya found out, it might actually be like a kind of problem. But it's one of those things where it's like, again, that's the point of the premise of the romance, and it actually makes for, you know, an interesting show. On top of like all the other very interesting things as well. So it's just like, oof. But yeah, they have their interaction where it's like Yuki and Masakachi in the student council room. Alya has like her time walking home and on the phone call, and then Masha has her time while they're cleaning and stuff like that. And so it's basically just like a normal day for all of them. But I guess it's one of those not student council things, but I guess it's also, I do at least remember the moment. It was Alya first, then Masha, then Yuki. But Alya, I guess they have like some form of interaction. Am I saying that right? Some form of interaction? No, I'm not saying that right. What am I trying to say? I don't remember what I'm trying to say. Jesus fucking Christ. Wait, actually, genuinely, what the fuck am I trying to say? Oh, no. So he has his one-on-one little interactions that we see with all three of them. Then what we find out later is that they actually have, I don't know if they call it anything different in Japan, but the way that I call it, the way it would be is parent-teacher conferences, where, you know, I thought we were going to see his father, but what we see is actually the granddad his other granddad. Well, we've seen the granddad on the mom's side, but now we've met the granddad on the dad's side, which, I'm not gonna lie, I love the fuck out of him. He's definitely a weirdo. Like, he is what I would have expected Masakachi to be, but he's actually not like that. Like, for the most part, he's actually like a pretty cool guy, which is actually really nice, if we're being completely honest. It's actually really nice, if we're being completely honest. But we see them have their own interactions. We see him and Masakachi interact. It's actually kind of adorable. Like, cause you can see that he actually cares for his grandson, and Masakachi cares for his grandfather. Then we actually see Alya's mother, and they have an interaction, which is funny because I guess the grandfather has a thing for Eastern European women, and so he just latches onto Alya, being like, you need to marry my son, you need to join the family. And like, his mom was very polite about it, but as they walked away, she does ask, it's like, so, are you gonna marry him? It's like, fucking chill. Like, it's definitely one of those parent things where it's just like, hey, maybe don't fucking do that. He got drip as well, so I rate him. Oh, that motherfucker got drip. No, actually, that's a good point. That motherfucker, my grandfather, actually has fucking drip. That man looks stylish as fuck. He does kind of look like a mobster, but I would wear that. It does kind of reminds me of Smooth Criminal a little bit. Like Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminal music video, it does kind of, sort of remind me of that, which I actually very much appreciate. But after all that, right? After seeing that and all that shit, they get their parent-teacher conference done. The episode ends with his grandfather and Masakachi walking down the hall. And for the first time in this series, we see Masakachi and his mother in the same room. And it's very obvious they have not seen each other in a very long time. I don't know what's going to happen next episode. I have no clue what's going to, I don't know what's going to occur. But man, that was harsh. But, dude, I swear, Alya has been, like, so good. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I was actually looking forward to watching everything this week because the worst thing I think I watched, I'm gonna be totally transparent right now. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. The worst thing I think I watched out of all of the anime this week was My Friend No Katan. And that was still super enjoyable. My Friend No Katan is still super enjoyable. After I finished the Suicide Squad Isekai, oh man, I'm happy. I get to actually, I picked out, like, we have only, like, good anime now so far. Everything's been hidden. I have been emotional. I think there was, like, I have a different range of emotions. Like, Alya is definitely giving me, like, the suspenseful, oh, fuck, right now vibes. And, like, My Friend is giving me the humor. Atori's giving me a bit of, like, the suspense, like the one. Mayonaka Punch is surprising me with every new episode. And then, obviously, there's Nier Automata that's making me, like, emotional. And then there's Oshinoko that is making me emotional damage. Like, unironically making me it's fucking hard. But yeah, no, that's bringing it back now. Bringing it back now to Alya. I know, I genuinely liked both of these episodes. I think I gave both of these episodes 8 because they're so good. Again, I'll say it every time I have to talk about the show. I was not expecting this much level of mystery and depth and, like, actual storytelling in this show. It's like, I will admit that, like, part of me is very interested in a romance, but more of me is definitely interested in the mystery around, like, Masakachi and his family, and we're getting pieces. Like, Alya, unironically, is a good example of a romance, of a really good romance, but also just how you do mystery. This is how you like feed drip mystery and little things to pieces. Where in the first episode, we see flashbacks, right? We see little things where we see Taniyama who is crying and, like, we didn't know who she even was at first. And we see, like, you know, him and his sister talking, and we see we see the fact that, like, Yuki and him are living, but they don't live together. And as we've gone on, we've gotten these, like, little tidbits to the point where, like, now as we're entering, like, the final stages, sort of, the, like the season, which I'm assuming this is only going for, like, 12, 13 episodes, we're finally getting those, actual pieces and pieces, which is, I'm so fucking happy we're getting. It makes me so fucking happy we're getting them. Oh, God, I love it so fucking much. It's crazy because I thought it was going to be a standard rom-com, but it's bringing good shit to the table. Yeah, no, I thought so too. Like, I was very interested in the premise. Like, I like the premise of the guy already knows that the girl likes him, but they don't know, like, I was very interested in the premise that the guy already knows that the girl likes him, but the girl doesn't know the guy likes him, right? So I was expecting a little bit more of, like, how they navigate through that life, but, like, the mystery has kind of dominated the show, and it's still connected in a really good way to where it's like, oh no, things are still connected, things are still, like, relating to the relationship, but, like, you see why the people are. And including with Alya as well, like, we don't have much about her life, but we still see some tidbits of, like, who she was, why she is. We see that, like, Alya kind of doesn't know her sister very well either because she's kind of putting on a mask. And God forbid we ever reach that family and see like that dynamic. I don't think they have a bad dynamic, but I do, in my heart to hearts, believe the theory that I pitched before that Masha is in fact the girl that Masakachi met way back when he was a child. We never had that thread brought up again, but I am like 90% sure that Masha is in fact that girl that he just never saw. And like, so I can see some people sitting there being like, oh well, she had blonde hair and Masha has like brunette hair. Yeah, bro, there are some kids whose just hairs change when they get older. It happens sometimes. And for all we know, it could be fucking dyed. For all we know, it is a genuine possibility. But yeah, I gave both episodes of 9 out of 10 of Alya 8 out of 10s because they're so fucking good. Genuinely, at this point, if you guys are looking at what is now it's showing, that's fucking delayed. Jesus Christ. Holy shit, that's fucking delayed. But no, yeah, if you guys have not seen any of Alya Sometimes Hides Are Feeling Russian yet, and you're looking at what like seasonal anime you guys want to finish, Alya is so good. Alya is genuinely so good.